But I wanted to give you a once over the world, and then bring it to you guys to see what you're willing to come after me. But I did bring something with me that I wanted to talk about. It's the
Yeah, absolutely.
it's something I wrote. It's something I wrote as I explained to people. I'm about to finish my degree in psychology. Ironically, I finished it here in the fall, late fall. Something I wanted to do, to have a piece of paper, and something that I peak interest in because of my childhood and the things that happened with my mother, and now me on top of that. I love the subject. I love learning, trying to figure out the human brain, which nobody has figured out yet.
Yes,
We're only just now
I
touching into
agree.
the bits and pieces of it.
I don't
But
think we'll ever know. It's a mystery.
a lot of people struggle with in the American Journal of Medicine, which is what we go off of here in the United States and most of the Western culture. C-PTSD, complex PTSD, is not listed as its own diagnosis.
And it
However, the World Health Organization, it is. The rest of the world, it is. So Europe, all of the rest, they have PTSD and PTSD as two separate diagnoses. We haven't yet gotten there. This year, when they get together and meet, which is going to be in the November timeframe, the doctors all come together. It's supposed to be on the agenda for them to address and vote on whether to add it to as a clinical diagnosis to the American Journal of Medicine, so that people could be diagnosed in our records with CPTSD. If you look at my medical records, my doctors refer to it, but my diagnosis is severe PTSD. But they say it's complex PTSD because
which
they
is
can't,
two different things. Yeah.
two different things completely. And I wrote here, it's easier for me to read it. I say, I often struggle to fully explain my illness to others. I want people to know so they can potentially understand, possibly relate, and normalize this as much as possible. PTSD for most people versus CPTSD, my case. PTSD, the definition thereof, usually stems from one or two major traumatic events: combat, car accidents, sexual assault, natural disasters. Trauma is often time-specific and even event contained. My PTSD originates from repeated, prolonged trauma across decades. Severe childhood abuse and forced fight training, 7 combat tours from Panama in the 80s all the way to Iraq and Afghanistan in 2003 and 4, 5, institutional failures, homelessness, betrayal, imprisonment, near-death experiences. There was no before trauma in my entire life story. My entire life story has been trauma-filled. From childhood war, battlefield war, institutional war, emotional war. The triggers of PTSD for most people. Triggers are often event-specific: loud noises, certain smells, a certain time of the year. Reactions may include flashbacks, nightmares, panic attacks, avoidance. My CPTSD, complex PTSD, triggers are omnipresent from facial expressions, raised voices, traffic delays, silence from someone I care about, or perceived disrespect. Can all trigger me into a rage that would blow most people's mind. Emotional responses aren't just anxiety or fear, it's combat level rage, strategic threat assessment, and life or death instincts firing off in seconds. I don't just react, I calculate, observe, rehearse survival, and brace for betrayal. And that's before even breakfast has been served. PTSD for most people, hypervigilance and anxiety may be episodic or linked to certain environments. Many can return to baseline with therapy and grounding techniques, breathing techniques, things of that nature. There's no baseline for me. I operate at DEFCON 2 every minute. I stay the way you see me now. I am talking fast right now and trying to talk slowly. That's how I stay in a constant state of just ramped up. I scan every room. I track every facial tick. Go ahead. Angle of approach, door exit, sound level, and harsh movement constantly. I sleep soundly not because my brain is at peace, but because my brain is so battle-hardened it finally shuts down like a war machine running out of fuel. Doctors say it's rare, but they're right. PTSD for most people is diagnosed with PTSD via DSM criteria after a major trauma. May receive a VA rating for the military, a 10 to 70% for normal PTSD. It can range from anywhere from 10% to 70%. For me, diagnosed by multiple psychiatric teams, including Poplar Springs Hospital, the one I mentioned before, one of the worst cases, if not the worst case they'd ever seen, I was declared 100% disabled permanent and total, not for losing a limb, but for something invisible, deeper, and far more devastating. I'm the only person I've ever met, and I've met hundreds and hundreds of fellow veterans in hospitals, in programs that I've been a participant in, and I'm the only one I've ever met that's 100% permanent and total for solely PTSD. It amazes me to this day, but nobody even questions it.
It's interesting to me, sorry for a second, it's interesting to me that you use the word solely PTSD, because the complex PTSD is so all-consuming. You know what I mean? Like, solely
Absolutely.
seems very minimizing of what it is that you're dealing with.
When people meet me, like in this walking down the street or in a room or in a restaurant or a social event, church, wherever it is I'm interacting, the gym, nobody ever even dreams for a second that I'm a disabled veteran. And when they find out, and they find out it's mental health related to PTSD, they look at me confused. They don't see it because it doesn't show itself to them. They don't understand. Most people are unfamiliar with this. But
Is it mental health though, or is it an actual brain injury? Because does it not change the chemistry of
the chemical
your brain?
makeup of the brain. Yeah, it's a brain injury.
So,
it's a brain injury.
Yeah. Okay.
But you go back to PTSD for most people involves irritability, anger issues, sometimes aggression, but often self-contained or able to be talked down with therapy. For me, it's not anger, it's war-trained rage. My fight or flight response was sharpened into a lethal weapon, but not an emotion. I was built to read a threat in milliseconds, predict violence before it starts, neutralize a target when others are still frozen in fear. And the sickest part, I'm just trying to buy a tire or ride a trolley home, not engage in combat. I told a story the other day of 2 incidents that I use
Yes.
to try and explain people, help them relate to what I'm dealing with. First of all, if I'm going into a bout, people are like, well, how do you know? Well, I've learned to know I feel it coming on from the inside, and at that moment, if I don't disengage, I'm in trouble. For somebody from the outside looking at me, they will see something they won't believe. I will start shaking, tremors. I will start sweating, even in an air-conditioned environment, sitting still. Sweat will start pouring off me. I am fixing to go into a rage that the only word I could come up with for it is rage. It's not a temper tantrum. It's not somebody blowing steam. It's uncontrolled, absolute anger to levels that people are shocked to see it. People are scared to death of me when they see it.
So is that rage when you do have an episode or something that sets you off, or you go into that episode? Are you like destructive? Are you on like a path of destruction? Do you destroy everything around you? Are you like, what does it look like for you to be in that? Are you able to?
Early on, absolutely. Early on in my bouts with it, I've been dealing with this now. This is 2004. My ex-wife, now she's an active duty colonel in the military, still on active duty. She wrote a letter saying she first saw it in me in 2004. And when she wrote that, it was about 2015. When I reflected back, and I said, she's right. She's absolutely right. That's when it started showing its head. I just didn't realize it. Back then, when I flew off the handle, it was disaster. I would throw things, break things, hit things, punch things, you name it. I did it, whatever was around, whatever was available. And it was all rationalized because this person did this, or that person did that, or this person was way out of line, or that I was correcting this wrong on somebody. And my reaction was so over the top. And looking back now, it was obvious, but at the time, I justified it and rationalized it as just, hey, I just don't function well in society. I don't relate well to people. They don't understand, this is how we deal with things. And it really wasn't. It was irrational behavior that I tried to rationalize and try to figure out how to control.
The emotional response doesn't match.
Not even close.
The situation.
Not even close.
It's very, I understand that.
And it's hard for people to grasp, but let's see if I can find it. Somewhere it talks about, but it there's nothing to do with the persons that I'm involved with. The person could be calm, collected. They can talk quietly, softly, in a non-aggressive or threatening manner. And if it is a time for me to go get like this, I'm losing it anyhow.
There's
A person could be
nothing that's
aggressive.
going to stop it.
No, no, except distance, time and distance. The same token, in the right situation, somebody could be coming at me aggressively. Somebody could be out of cussing, yelling, coming at me in extreme rage or their version of anger, and I'm the one who could calm it down. I'm the one to handle it.
Yeah. Yep.
Or I might flip out. The two things are unrelated. I have literally lost it over conversations that were so meaningless, like the way the furniture was arranged in a room, and it became a back and forth. And next thing you know, I start feeling my anger come on. And if I didn't disengage back when I was learning about this, next thing you know, I'm having a meltdown over a subject that, how in the world did this happen? What the heck is wrong with me?
Yeah.
And it took a long, long time for me to understand what's wrong with me and to start taking the necessary steps to correct it. To accept the fact that I need medication.
Yes.